Breastfeeding, when possible, can be an important aspect of creating the bond between mother and child after a completed pregnancy. According to ncsl.org, both mother and infant benefit from the process of breastfeeding as it provides nutrients and strengthens the immune system of the newborn, as well as reduces the risk of premenopausal breast cancer in the mother. Also, within a study conducted in Australia, there appears to be a correlation between the amount of time breastfed and likeliness of experiencing abuse and neglect. This study found that the chances of maternal abuse and neglect increase as the duration of breastfeeding decreased. Although it is hard to say completely, there seems to be a relationship between the duration of breastfeeding, along with other factors such as maternal, educational level, and more, that can indicate towards the likeliness of a child experiencing abuse and neglect. Within the U.S., there are many policies regarding breastfeeding in public areas. 49 states, excluding Idaho, have laws that allow women to breastfeed in any public or private location. 29 of these states exclude breastfeeding from public indecency laws. 28 states have laws related to breastfeeding in the workplace. 17 states exempt breastfeeding mothers from jury duty or allow jury service to be postponed, but only 6 states have promoted the development of breastfeeding awareness campaigns. Now, if we were to focus on the majority of these laws and analyze them by the social justice framework, the need aspect is present in the way that the policy allows a mother to feed her child whenever and wherever they may be, whether that place is public or private. These policies also acknowledge the mother's right to make decisions for herself and her child by giving her the opportunity to choose how she feeds her child, whether that be by breast or by bottle. However, what is not very clearly addressed is whether the mother deserves this right, as many people believe that mothers do not deserve special treatment just for having a child, and therefore may be the reason why some of the laws are only legal in some states and not in others. Another way we could analyze these policies is by determining the effect on vulnerable populations. The vulnerable populations in this case would be the mother and her child. First, we can note the extent to which the mother and child are receiving what it is believed they deserve. This is difficult, as some may argue that they are receiving too much freedom to feed in public, while others may be saying they are not receiving enough. Next, we know that a human need is being met with these policies, as they make it much easier for mothers to feed their children. It is also hard to determine whether or not anyone's rights are being violated, as some may argue the public's rights are being violated as the mother exposes herself, while others may argue that by taking away these opportunities, we would be violating the mother's right to feed her child or the child's right to be fed. Lastly, the potential impact on equality can be seen as it gives women more opportunity to make decisions for their bodies and for their children. Much of what I just spoke of can lead to our problem. Despite the legality of mothers being able to breastfeed their children wherever they so choose, many mothers still experience a lot of judgment and shame from the public, especially when feeding in a public place. In fact, according to ncbi.gov, currently within the US, bottle feeding is viewed as a more normal or natural way to feed infants. According to a study that was conducted in 2001, 43% of people believe that women should not have the right to breastfeed their children in a public place. Also, many managers and store owners say that if a mother were to breastfeed in their place of business, they would ask them to leave or at least move to a more secluded area. One way we could solve this issue of judging and isolating mothers is by educating society. If all middle schools and high schools were to teach students on the importance and benefits of breastfeeding infants, perhaps our society would become much more understanding and accepting of mothers who choose to breastfeed in public areas. Another major contribution to the stigma around breastfeeding is the sexual objectification of breasts throughout the U.S. Although this may be easier said than done, perhaps if our media and society were to stop objectifying breasts in advertisements in sexual ways, and instead showed more images of breasts being used in the way they were intended for, to feed infants, this desexualization of breasts could result in the increased acceptability of breastfeeding in public. Thank you.